Easy Love Knitting tutorial. I'm Claire and I'll be teaching you how to take great photos of your knitting. This video was made especially for Sock Club members, but it's useful to everyone, so even if you aren't a member, please feel free to watch. If you're interested in joining the Sock Club, we'd love to have you. You can find more information in the show notes. Hello Sock Club and welcome to the tutorial for April. This month we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of an instructional video for knitting, I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to take great photos of your knitting. So that ties in really well with what we're doing this month. This month we're doing an extra special photo competition with double the prize to normal. So if you win this competition, you get $100 worth of yarn and you can choose anything you want from the shop. Okay, so let's get right into it. The first thing, the most important thing when you're taking great photos or video is to have good lighting. So you don't need any expensive equipment to do that. Natural light is the best light available. Now, even if it's a really cloudy, overcast day, you can still get good lighting. Now, I'm going to prove this to you by asking my cameraman Tim to take a couple of steps back to show you my very unorthodox setup right here. So this is what I've done to get good lighting today. I have found the very best spot that has the best lighting. The background wasn't good, so I put my own background up, which is just a piece of board that I've painted, and I've used a car windshield protector as a reflector, which bounces the light that's coming from this direction off the wall and back onto me. So it's not perfect because it's actually even raining today. I'm getting rain on me while we're doing this. It's very overcast. There is really not good lighting, but I've still managed to do my video today. So I don't want anyone to make the excuse, it's overcast, I can't take my photos. Because actually overcast is pretty good. You want your lighting to be diffused. That's the second point about lighting. So you want as much bright light as you can get, but you don't want it to be sharp directional light. You want it to be diffused soft light. So clouds are a natural diffuser. They're perfect for that. So that is probably one of the best times you can take photos is when it's cloudy. Just take your knitting outside and take your photos there. So if you don't have a nice background, like I don't here, just make your own. So get creative with backgrounds. Now I'm going to show you a few of my favorite things to use as photo backgrounds. Okay, my very favorite tool for taking photos of knitting. A plain white piece of cardboard. This trusty piece of cardboard is a great photo background. You don't have to have a nice white surface on a desk or anything like that. All you need is a cardboard that costs $1. So it's very easy to get, it's very simple and versatile. The best thing about this is that you can move it anywhere. You can go find the best lighting and take your photos there. Okay, so you don't just have to use white, you could use other colored pieces of cardboard. Now, a lot of you have probably seen my photos on Instagram. I do different colored backgrounds, and that's all I use is these simple pieces. It cost about $1, yeah, from the newsagent or the dollar store, and you can get them in all sorts of colors. So you can get them to match your project, or you can get them as contrast to your project to really make your project pop. Now, my next favorite thing to use is my own painted backgrounds. So this is one that I did for the April Sock Club yarn. It's a just a little painting I did. It only took me 5 minutes. It's the same colors as the yarn, and it's kind of cute and it just matches the yarn and looks great with the photo. So it's just about being creative. And I just did another one today. This took me 2 minutes. It's just a watercolor. I just splashed some colors on a piece of paper, and I'm going to show you how good this can look in a photo. Okay, so we've had to move inside because the rain started to come down a bit too hard out there, but I found the best available place for light in the house, which is next to a window on my desk. So I actually have my desk here because of this light here. Our house isn't very bright, but this is the best that I've got. So I make the most of it. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to take a good photo next to a window. So because the light is coming in from one direction, we need to use a reflector. Now, we can use one just like the one that I showed you before, the car windshield protector. It's only a couple of dollars, and I really like this one because it actually stands up by itself. So it's so cheap, so easy, and you can just pop it on the desk and it stands up, and then you have both of your hands free to take your photos. Or you can use the proper one, well, a professional photography one. You can get these off Amazon. Look. So it's just a big circle and it's basically the same thing. It's just got a nice shiny surface that bounces light off it. So when the light hits it, it comes back and then you're getting double the amount of light. So this one actually has options. I'll show you. On the other side, it has gold. Now this can be really handy if your lighting situation is a bit cool, so you're getting a lot of cool light coming in, and that can happen if you're living in the forest or you've got a lot of trees around. The light comes through the green trees and it's really cool light. That happens up at my studio, so this gold reflector works really well for warming up the light a bit, but I really don't use it that often. I think it's actually easier to just warm up the photo slightly in editing. But yeah, so basically all you want is something to bounce the light back off. And if you don't even want to buy any reflector, you can also use a simple white piece of cardboard as a reflector too. Just something nice and shiny. Shiny will bounce more light, and the wider and brighter it is, the more light that it will bounce off. So if it's one that you can't get to stand up by itself, you'll just need to hold it up and use one hand to take your photos. So the light will be coming in here, bouncing off there and onto the desk to take the photo. Now, if you've got a nice desk or a nice background, you might want to play around with some different props. Go through your house and look at things that might work with your knitting. This is one way to get creative with your photography using props. So I've got a few little things that I like to use. I've got these cute little guys. They're just little pots that I got from a market, or flowers. These are actually fake flowers, but you can't tell from a photo because in the background they're blurred out anyway. So fake flowers are really a good one because, you know, you don't have to go buy fresh flowers all the time. Or even just any kind of little trinkets. Just I've got little ceramic plates, and I just go throughout the house and find whatever I might like that might go with my knitting at the time, and it can just add a little bit of interest to your photography. So because the theme for this month is creativity, I encourage you to just have fun with this. Go nuts. Do whatever, take lots of photos. You can enter as many times as you like. I really want you guys to start feeling inspired and empowered to be able to take great photos of your work. Okay, so let's get started on taking photos. Okay, so we're gonna get started with taking our photos. Now, I've actually got studio lights on at the moment just because I needed them for filming, but I'm gonna turn them off just so that I can show you that you can still do this without any lighting, any professional lighting. Okay, so it's a bit dark here now, so just excuse that. I hope that you can still see me okay. But I've turned the lights off just so that you can see that this still can be done without any professional lighting. Alright, so So I've decided I'm going to use my purple backdrop because my yarn is a purpley colour and I think that it will go nicely with it. So getting my project out. These are my socks for March. I'm a little bit behind, only up to the toes, but I'm going to power through them and finish them soon because I'm really excited to start my April socks. Alright, so the way that I've got the cardboard here is actually an infinity background. So a piece of cardboard works so well for this. It makes it so that there's no seam or edge in the photo, and it's just a nice, completely smooth, seamless background. Alright, so I've got my knitting on here. Now I'm just going to arrange it nicely. Sometimes it just takes a bit to get the yarn untangled, and it's worth the effort of just making the yarn look nice. It really makes a difference for your photos, just the little touches. Okay. Alright, so if you can see now that there's some pretty intense shadowing coming from the cakes of yarn here, that's because we've got a lot of light coming from the window and no light coming from the other direction. So that's where our reflector comes in. Now I'm going to use my car windshield reflector. Trusty $2 piece of equipment, works every time. So we've still got some shadowing, but it's a lot less harsh than it was before. Okay, so if you do have studio lighting, this is where we would put the studio light on this side, and then that would counteract the light coming from that side, and we would have even lighting. But the reflector does a really good job of this too, so I want you all to know that you don't need any expensive equipment to be able to do this. I only just got studio lights a few months ago, so I've been doing this with just this car windshield thing for years, and my photos are pretty good. So, alright, we can fix some of it in editing as well. Okay, so I've got my knitting all lined up. Now, just going to use my iPhone. The iPhone is actually a really good camera. Well, I've got the newest one now, but I only just got this. Up until recently, I'd been using the iPhone 6, which takes great photos too. And before that, I was using the iPhone 4, which, you know, you don't need the newest iPhone. You can do everything on any smartphone. Smartphones actually have really good high quality cameras. The main thing to remember is you need good lighting. Alright, so I'm going to take this photo and then I'll put it up to show you what it looks like. And I like to just go from a few different angles with the same setup, and use different focal points. So maybe try focusing on this part of the knitting and then try focusing on here, and just play around with it, because if you're not a professional photographer, like I'm not, so I just experiment. Every time I set up a little photo shoot like this, I take at least 10 different photos. I'll just snap a few from different angles and then I'll look at them all later to see which one was the best. Alright, so that's my photo. Okay, so that's it for the tutorial this month. I really hope that it helps you to take some great photos of your knitting. Feel free to contact me if you need any more help. I'm always happy to answer questions for Sock Club members. I can't wait to see all of your photos, and I hope that you will all enter in the photo competition. Okay, Happy knitting!